Welcome. Here we are, Lesson 5 of our course on what is processed thought. And here we are in a certain way looking at the Li River in China, in Guangxi province. And as you look at that image, you see the fishermen down below on the bottom left. You see the water. You see the mountains. You see the sky. And if I ask you, which among them are alive? It's clear to you and to me that at the very least, the fisherman is alive. But in some sense, isn't the water alive as well? Doesn't it have a living quality? And in some sense, aren't the mountains alive too? Crouched like cats, yet thrusting forth with their own energy, presenting themselves to us. And perhaps in some sense, isn't even the sky alive? Aren't there different kinds of aliveness, different ways of being alive? In the language of Chinese philosophy, different forms of qi, vital energy. That's how Whitehead looked at the world. He thought there were indeed different forms of aliveness. In his view, there are no vacuous actualities. So that's the idea that he repudiates or dismisses in the preface to Process and Reality, when he gives that list of ideas he wants to move beyond. One, number 6, is the idea of a vacuous actuality. So what is a vacuous actuality? A vacuous actuality would be an actuality which lacks any creativity or spontaneity of its own, which can be acted upon but which cannot act in any way, which lacks any perspective of its own, which lacks any capacity to respond to its surroundings. And Whitehead believes that vacuous actualities do not exist. All actualities, earth or sky, have spontaneity of their own. There's something like feeling all the way down into the depths of matter and all the way out into outer space. And that means that not only on our planet, but throughout the entire universe, there's a kind of creative energy. We emerge out of a living universe, an organic universe. And what about us? We humans, too, are expressions of that living quality. We are expressions of, not exceptions to, the creative aliveness of which all things are expressions. We are living embodiments of non-vacuous actuality. There's a way of looking at the world which rejects this. There's a way of looking at the world where you say there's two kinds of realities, consciousness and dead matter, and they're very different. That was Descartes' way of looking at the world. Whitehead's offering a different perspective. He's saying there's something like mind, something like life, something like vitality everywhere, and that includes physical matter. That's why he rejects the notion of vacuous actuality. He wants to say that there's one kind of reality of which all things are expressions, and somehow, in some way, it's alive. And he wants to go further than this. He wants to say that in the aliveness of things, in their aliveness, they present themselves to us. They give themselves to us. We experience them as given for our experience. And that's why, in the 7th idea, he rejects the Kantian idea that the objective world is a theoretical construct from purely subjective experience. Whitehead is going to say that all experience, human and non-human, even divine, begins or is formed out of feelings of things that are given. Now, what is given to us, so he will say, are not bare objects, but living realities filled with energy, life of their own. And those living realities include our own past experiences with our feelings, our emotions, our aims, our desires. But they include mountains like the mountains you see in the painting of Cézanne here. Yes, they include all that presents itself to us. There is no dead matter. Many Whiteheadians feel that this offers a deeply ecological way of understanding our world and ourselves. We emerge out of and are part of a larger living whole. Those are ideas we'll be exploring later as we learn more about Whitehead and his book, Process and Reality. But for now, that's enough. We'll have another lesson on the preface. We'll deal with one of the final paragraphs next time, and then we'll move on to the book as a whole. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again.